Hi, I'm Monty McKinnon. Thank you for joining me. I'm really pleased to be here in more ways than you can imagine. So let me explain what happened. I was working on the veneer for the back of the guitar neck. And as you can see, I was sanding it with a jig that I had made. And the interesting thing is the jig is exactly this curvature, so I had sandpaper on there and I'm going back and forth, as you can see, and that was working extremely well. So the next thing I did was I moved over to this workbench, which is no longer by the wall. And so what I did is I spritzed it all, got it all good and wet, put it in foil, put it down there, put the electric heating blanket on it and plugged it in. Then I clamped it and got it nice and tight, and you can see the curvature here looks pretty good. So I was pretty happy with that. Now, one of the things I do every now and then is I come back and I plug it in for another 15-20 seconds just to heat it up, just to make sure the curvature stays the same. Okay, that's the plan. Well, what happened was I plugged it in and I got distracted and I ended up going upstairs. I sat down in my office for whatever reason that was, I don't know. And I ran out of my tea. I had had my cup of tea, and I went to the kitchen and I thought, I smell smoke. So I came down to the shop here, opened the door, and I thought, oh my goodness. This wall behind me, you could barely see it from the entrance where I come in here. So I was so close to a fire. Let me tell you how close this was. I unplugged that immediately, and I got it outside. The clamps that you saw me put on each, and there was 4 of them, had a hard time coming off the wood. Now this is poplar wood on the top. It's 3/4 of an inch thick. It's an inch and a quarter, maybe an inch and a half thick on the bottom, and it's a sandwich. And I had a real hard time because the wood was so hot. In fact, my veneer that was inside the aluminum foil melted and was dripping onto this workbench right here. A liquid dripping on there. And I thought, oh my goodness. So I got that out of here, and then I immediately opened all the windows, but by that time the smoke damage was done. So I'm in the process now of saying the guitar build is on hold for a few days while I paint the wall. And I have cleaned up in here. I have used the proper chemicals. I brought in a cleaning company who went through all the house. And so when they went through the house, they shampooed the sofa, Chesterfield, couch, I don't know, whatever, you pick one of those, wherever you sit up in the living room. They had to do all the upholstery all over again. Clean it all. They cleaned all the carpeting in and around. We've washed all the windows. Now I'm in the process of painting the wall because there's still just a little bit of odor left from the smoke. Now, in addition, as some of you will recall, because you told me to get rid of it, I had some soundproofing insulation up in here, which of course would hold the smoke. That's all gone into the garbage and out of here. It's all good. So it's all gone. So I'm in the process here, as you can see, pulling this all apart in order to fix up my shop. And oh man, I didn't need this headache. You know what? It's really tough because my wife is now thinking, maybe it's time that we had the living room repainted. I've been thinking about that for some time. So maybe this is the perfect opportunity, as she's explaining to me, to have it painted. So it looks like we're having the living room painted. So it just goes from one thing to another, to another, to another. And that's just the way life goes. So I will be away for a day or two while I finish doing this. I'm going to have this all painted here shortly, and then I have to move this all out of here, put this all back first, then move all of this out of here, paint behind me, and then I'm going to paint this wall. Then I'm going to paint the floor. So this whole place is getting an overhaul, and it's probably due because it hasn't been done for a number of years. You've seen that video that Peter did where we pulled down all this venting and duct work and rerouted everything and did a lot of work in here. And if you haven't, you should go back and look at that because that was pretty funny, and he does some pretty good stuff. So anyway, that's it. So that's what's happened. That's what's happening right now. And I will be back with an announcement about my book in just a few days. We're right there, right at the threshold. So we're looking awfully good. So that's it. Time for my cup of tea. And thanks to my cup of tea, I ended up avoiding a real serious fire. Although maybe my wife could have got a new kitchen out of it, or no, I'm just saying. Oh man, that is really good. Thanks for watching and thanks for sticking with me. I appreciate all your comments. So this is Smokey checking out for now. I always thought Smokies were hot dogs or something like that. But anyway, what do I know? See you in the next video. Bye for now.